Good day. I am in the rockin' town of Onaway, Alberta, and they're having their annual ag fair, which included a show and shine and tractors, that type of thing. So I thought I'd just come here and check it out, and then maybe walk around town, try and get some steps in too. Nothing better than a view of small town Alberta. It's about 20 degrees. Beautiful day for it. So let's go see what's going down. Not a lot of vehicles here, but whatever. I always like to see what's around the province that people keep in their garages. So today, to get into the museum, it's by donation. And it might always be, I don't know. Okay, well, we found the show and shine part. Well, let's see what we got. This is an interesting car, 1963 Grand Turismo Hawk. Studebaker. Little two-door coupe. Look at this child seat. That's hilarious. That was safety back in the 60s, eh? She's in nice shape. Some of these cars I may have seen in St. Albert already. This is a nice 68 Mustang GT California Special. Surprised it only has a 289 in it, but she's nice. This is what I like about the California Special. It kind of emulated the T-Bird with the sequential taillights in it. This is a neat Corvair wagon. Rear engine. Dual carb. 1960. This one was actually at Baldwin last week, but I didn't get a good look at it. It's a nice two-door Chrysler Windsor. I think the Windsor was a Canadian model. Maybe made in Windsor, Ontario. Don't quote me. I love that oval or square steering wheel. Push button transmission. This would be an early 60s model. 62 or 63. '58 Dodge Custom Royal. I love the plastic seat covers. Kind of takes you back to a day when everything got covered up, but you could still see the interior.
Yeah? Yeah, there was a neat cars behind me. All unique. Yeah, if you can look at that graph.
The big fin era. In the jet age or rocket age. Right next to it is a '59 Custom Royal. Without the plastic seat covers. Push button transmission as well.
ended up getting a satellite. So,
Fender skirts. Neat old cars. It's a nice 1960 Thunderbird. It's interesting how you can see how forward the engine is. You can see the bell housing right there. That's a 352, which I think eventually becomes a 390 in these cars. Power windows. Nice bucket seats and console. This one's a hard top. If you're into pickup trucks, this is a sweet ride. Little short box Chevy, Apache 10. Nicely restored. A little 283 in it. I don't know if that would have been original. I always thought it neat. The signal lights were in the hood. Nice little truck. Nice old Tornado, the 425 Rocket. You can see how forward the engine is on this thing too.
We want to have like a bunch of people in the back and don't want the assets.
Basically, the first front-wheel drive vehicles before we got into the K-car world of the late 70s and early 80s. Love how he has a radar detector in there. I bet it's got some get up and go. It's got that kind of a roller speedometer in it. This one's a 1966. Of course, I'm a sucker for anything with hideaway headlights. Nice Chevelle SS with a 396 in it. This one's a convertible. Black bucket seats. All the gauges. 4-speed car. Like I said, it's a convertible top. The old Chevy Big Block. Next to it's a Camaro SS with a 350 in it. Got some kind of ramjet intake on it, fuel injected. inside very well. Not sure what year, by looking at the tail lights, I'd want to say it's 67 or 68. And the stripes matching on the hood and the trunk. Here's a nice C10 pickup truck. My friend's dad had one of this. His was a 72. Get my shadow out of there. Jack's Auto Body. His was a 72, and that thing just drove like a car back then. Always did have a fondness for these trucks. Not sure what year this one is. Because it says actually custom on it instead of C10, I think it might be like a late 60s. Hard to tell, that grille and bumper almost look like 71 or 72. You tell me. And while you're commenting, don't forget to subscribe and like and share. The old wood deck boxes. I'm not used to seeing long box trucks anymore. Very basic. There's a real definition of horsepower. Did you know that a horse though actually has like 5 horsepower? So there's 10 horsepower sitting right there. There's a nice bike if you like bikes. Let's go over here to the threshing machine. I was talking to one of the museum guys, and I said, you know, were they giving these away back in the 1920s and 30s? And he's like, oh no, they were expensive machines. And they always broke down, and it's a lot of work to run them. But yeah, it seems like you pass every farm and there's a threshing machine sitting there. A little McCormick attached to a mill there making flour. It's actually neat to see one in operation because you, like I said, you always just see them on somebody's farm at the side of the highway. Looks like they're just basically breaking up straw. Maybe just for the sake of showing off the operation of the machine. Tractor with a big belt running it. I don't know if that belt snaps. I don't know if you'd want to be that close to it. Quite the process though. Around here, McCormick's seem to be the tractor of the day, or just the ones that they're restoring around here. International Harvester. This is a nice looking grain truck here. Fargo. $15,000 original miles. Pretty cool. Barely got out of the storage shed, I guess, but I can imagine you're not putting a lot of miles on these anyways. Oh, not original, replacement muffler. The Farmall. I always found these two close wheels interesting, but I guess they're following along the row of a crop. Neat old units. Kind of like coming to these small town fairs just to see what's here and what they're doing. They like to take you back to a time gone by. Those hamburgers are smelling good too. But I shouldn't. I might, but I shouldn't. Imagine doing that 12 hours a day every fall. So I guess the grain's coming out in the red cart and then the straw is going into the big pile over there.
So it misfires because of RPM. If you put a load on it, then it'll fire every time.
So that is the live ag operation and the show and shine part of it. Let's just take a quick walk through the market and we'll see what's in the museum. Looks like this was the Onaway School from 1921 to 2007. Has that nice antique smell. The old stubby bottles. I think beer started out in long necks and then went to the stubbies. Used to love this stuff. Actually still do. Couldn't imagine cooking on that and trying to regulate the heat. They've kind of set up this room to look like what maybe a typical house would look like in the day, or what it would have in a house. I was never a big antique dude, but it's interesting to see these things. I think my mom had brush and mirror similar to that back in the day. So you went from that to this. Wood burning to electric. I bet given a chance this thing still works. compared to appliances of the day. Reminds me of the story of my father-in-law. Saturday night was bath night, and him being the youngest, he got the last of the bath water. Gross. After 9 other kids had been in it. Elderly lady just walked in and walked out. I don't know if it was me or she just looked at the stuff and thought, I had to use all this crap. I don't need to look at it now. We had these desks when I was in elementary school. I didn't realize my life was already museum worthy. Of course, the desks we were using might have been 30 years old at that time too. I mean, they all had ink wells. Devil's Lake Corral must have been an entertainment venue out here. Elks Lodge. Wonder if they had to wear a big hat like on the Flintstones. Neat collection of old radios. That would have been the connection to the outside world, really, in a farm environment. The old Victrola. My mom worked on one of these too, way back in the day. The things they have in museums, like I said in the classroom, were everyday life when I was a kid. Same with these projectors. You could put pictures in and project it onto the wall. The bulb though was about 1,000 degrees. Overhead projectors. Lots of typewriters. Actually, being in the IT industry, I was actually glad I took typing in high school. Didn't have to do the plick and pluck method. And lots of old sewing machines. Lost a lot of people in those wars. Well, let's just take a quick walk through town. Get some faster paced steps in after I rolled my ankle coming up the curb. This is where sometimes you see the more interesting architecture, because small towns kind of leave things behind. Not everything is destroyed for something new. I do find those harvest fairs interesting. Kind of brings a community together. I imagine it's mostly locals there. Here's the old Onaway Hotel. I'm sure quite a number of beers were consumed in this tavern, and probably still are. It's hard to tell if it's still open or not. That plane going overhead was making quite the racket. So we got 3 buildings here. They kind of look like they were built to look like train stations, so I can't say if any one of these would have been the original train station. They're all along the tracks, but none of them look original enough. Even the liquor store is trying to look like a livery or train station too. Some of the original old houses along here. So Onaway has a population of about 1,000 people, and looks like farming and maybe retired farmers are the #1 industry here. I assume people live here for the small town life and then go elsewhere to work. Always worry about small towns like this slowly dying. This one seems to be doing okay. And look, they even offer a sewer dump there for your trailer. Don't know how much these tracks are used anymore. They are a little shiny, so they must get used sometimes. And here are the grain elevators for Onaway feed and seed. I don't know if these would be in use anymore. Kind of guessing they wouldn't be. And it just looks like probably not. Is this not where your truck would back in to drop off your grain? Oh, something still happens here. There's grain on the ground. I don't know, I didn't stir up a bunch of birds like you usually do with grain elevators. It's got all the amenities. Let's get a better view of them back here. Grain elevators like this are disappearing fast too. I'm actually surprised these are still standing. It apparently, though, is bursting at the seams. Just wanted to get a shot of this 64 Pontiac Laurentian. It is a car my parents owned back in the early 60s. Well, later in the early 60s, would have been after 64. I like those boomerang shaped tail lights. Looks fairly solid. This is a 3 on the tree car. Has a radio in it though, so big options. This is a Canadian Pontiac in that it's mostly Chevy undercarriage, so frame and drivetrain and stuff. So that's why the wheels are a little bit off in the fenders. The wheels look forward there and they're kind of tucked inside because the American Pontiacs had a wider stance. Car's been sitting here for quite a while for sale. I would say at least 2 or 3 years. I've passed through here once or twice and it's been there. So I'm just making my way back into town, and maybe we'll take a quick jaunt down Main Street, but then that might be enough for me today. Won't be a lot of steps, but it was a nice little visit to this town that normally you just pass by. There goes the 2000 Camaro. And the 62 Pontiac convertible. And the ugly old Dodge Ram first gen with a Cummins in it that probably never quits. Good thing about those first gen Cummins, they always leak, so that's how you know you got oil in it. Either everybody knows each other in town and they know I don't belong here, or they never see anybody walk because everyone's giving me the fisheye as they drive by. Maybe that's just my own perception and paranoia. Or maybe they just love my chapeau. Everyone wears a ball cap around here, not a nice fedora. So this is 50th Street and 49th Ave. In most Alberta towns, this would be the center of town. And then they would spread out from there. Some buildings are look original, and you've got the typical Chinese food restaurant, little grocery store over there. There's a bigger grocery store on the main drag, which is probably considered 50th Street, or no, 50th Avenue, I guess. So we are in the heart of Onaway, Alberta. And the newest attraction in every town, the weed store. Yes, it is legal here in Canada. I do not partake, and I hate the smell of it. But what can you do? How can you condemn people for smoking weed? Well, there goes those two Dodges. How can you condemn people smoking weed when I like to have a Crown and Ginger or a glass of wine or three? And you don't have small town Alberta without a Burger Baron. Let's see if they got milkshakes. The local burger joint. Nice and cool in here. I was getting pretty sweaty out there, even though it's only like 21 or 22 degrees. What a nice chocolate shake treat to blow away all the calories you burned off walking here. Oh well, gotta live a little too. What I really wanted was hamburger fries and a shake, so I think I'm doing pretty good. '90s Camaro. Well, the fair's starting to wind down, and so am I. Just enjoying my milkshake. Apparently I missed paratroopers landing here. Way to go. Walked away too soon, I guess. Can't catch everything. Well, there's the truck. Let's get back to it and see how we did today. Well, I didn't use Runkeeper today because I knew it wasn't a walk that was going to be pace-worthy. Did about 7,800 steps, which usually equates to what? 4 kilometers for me, maybe 5. A lot of wandering around though, and it was nice to see the town of Onaway and their agriculture fair. So, good day, beautiful weather, nice fair, interesting cars. Until the next one.